sports fans, ASMR Sports here. Today we have a non-sports video because somebody had mentioned that I've been doing a lot of baseball and they're not really into baseball, so they were wanting to see something else, and I kind of took that to mean something other than sports, so perhaps they meant soccer and are going to be disappointed. But this video is actually one I wanted to do for a while, but I just sort of forgot about it. I was just sort of thinking about what I could do and saw some stuff related to this, so there I was. Alright, so today we are going to talk all about one of my favorite, if not the favorite, TV shows of all time. I guess it's not, well, yeah, it's a TV show and a miniseries, but it's really just kind of a universe. But I'm talking about The Visitors. If you all don't know about V, basically it's a sci-fi like mini-series that started in 1983. It was like a two-part mini-series. And it's basically a story about aliens that come to visit Earth, and that supposedly look like us and sound like us, and you know, what they tell the people on Earth is that their planet is dying and they need to make like a chemical that they can't make on their planet, so they have to create all these factories where they're going to manufacture this chemical. And so they build these factories all over the world, and they have their motherships. There's 50 motherships all over the world, over big cities. And yeah, we learn over the course of the show that the aliens are not who they have told us they are. I'll probably give you some spoilers, but like nothing too crazy. So if you let's do some Apple. If you are a kid from the 80s in the US, and you watch TV, you probably remember this show quite vividly because it was really quite a phenomenon. When it came out, it was like a big deal. Everybody at school was talking about it. Everyone was super excited to see like the next thing, the next episode of the miniseries, or the second miniseries, or the regular TV series that came out eventually. So what I have for you are my V comic book collection, my V novel collection, and last but not least, my V trading card collection, which is really just this box. I had this wrapped not too long ago. I bought it for pretty cheap money off eBay a while ago because I was like buying boxes. This was probably like, I don't know, 10 years ago or more. I was buying boxes of all the like shows and movies that I loved, like The Goonies. I bought a box. Oh man, what else? Rocky. I wish I could say I bought some Star Wars, but I did not. I have not got any Star Wars cards unopened, which is a real tragedy. But anyways, this is really cool. A lot of these non-sport boxes from the 70s and 80s are made by Topps, but this is one made by Fleer. So it's kind of unique in that regard. There's the cast, two kind of main protagonists there, and then on the right and left here are some aliens. Those are kind of two of the leaders. That's Diana right there. I can't see her, but she's sort of the head. She actually doesn't start out as the head, like Alien, but she ends up working her way to the top by like basically killing everybody. And so there's what the aliens truly look like under their human masks. There's Diane. So that's what a box of this stuff looks like. This is from 1984. I think this has stuff maybe from the original miniseries, which was a two-parter, came out in 1983. And then the final battle, which was I think it was like a 3 or 4 part one. That came out, I think, in 84, because the first miniseries was such a huge success. So that's the box. Here's so this is all of the comic books that came out. I've never actually opened these and looked at them, so let's do that now. So this is the episode, or issue 1. We'll see what year this came out. I'm guessing this was probably 84 that this came out. Which is in pretty good condition. I don't think these are worth anything, really. Some of these I had to pay, I don't know, $5 for. Because I was just sort of buying them up on eBay one by one, or like in small groups. You gotta love a Huffy bike ad. I had a Huffy when I was a kid. Nobody wanted a Huffy, they wanted a Predator or a Redline bike, BMX bike. I wonder if those brands even exist anymore. Do you guys, if you're a child of the 80s, this will have a lot of references in this video. Star Trek 3 Starship Combat game. Cool. So I never really saw, yeah, 84 is when this came out. You guys remember this? Grit. It's like this thing that's in every comic book where you sign up and then you like sell stuff from a catalog, I think, and then get points if you sell stuff. Kind of crazy. I wonder, I'm sure there were kids that did that and probably had some success. I always thought, man, I would never be able to sell anything. And here's like the classified ads. It's funny. Karate school, like by brochure, how about, or by mail, how cool is that? Of course, you gotta buy your brass knuckles from a comic book. Camo clothing. Look at this crazy ad, Jesus. It's like a bunch of lists of comic books they have. Just hilarious. I'm not really going to go through the content here. That would definitely provide some spoilers. Remco, the Warlord. funny. So this is just sort of some commentary on like the V phenomenon by somebody related to DC Comics. And they talk about at the beginning the posters. See this poster here? Like they actually had, you know, real versions of this poster that they put around large cities at the time that the original miniseries came out. And they looked just like this. Like they didn't explain anything about what V was or anything. It was just sort of this mysterious, like, oh, visitors are our friends. That's weird. So no reference to the show or anything like that. But, you know, a lot of people were like, what does that mean? You know, because it looks like propaganda. I mean, it is propaganda in the show, but even not knowing anything about the show, it sort of looks like, oh, this is like some kind of Nazi era thing. So anyways, yeah, that was kind of a fun, like, sort of marketing tactic that I think was one of the first times they ever did something like that. It's been done in you know, future, or since then. So RC car, I think. Oh, look at that, Activision. And Pitfall 2, fantastic. So, there's what a comic book looks like on the inside. So again, I got these actually not too long ago, like maybe like 6 months ago, I think. I ended up buying these. I found like somebody had like 1 through 10 available, and then I think I found like 1 or 2 other like medium-sized lots of them. And then a few I had to buy individually. Those were kind of expensive because like shipping, and I think they were maybe the rarer ones. They all say the visitors are our friends. So I am not actually sure if the comic books basically track the exact same storyline of the, you know, the miniseries and the final battle. I don't think that they get into anything that's in the TV show, the series, the longer, like, full season series. But I don't really know because I haven't read these, so one day I'm going to sit down and read these. Whoa. I don't know who that guy is. Who is our enemy? Mysterious, and this is the last one. So it'll be interesting to see where they left this. Off. So there you go, that's the full comic book series right there. Now we'll talk about the books. So some interesting kind of things happened with the books. I have these in order. So the original book here is, you know, an adaptation of the screenplay for the show. And this is the one written by A.C. Crispin. It was just sort of a hired gun that they asked to write the book. I feel like there's a different version that is co-written with Kenneth Johnson, who was the original sort of creator of the show, and also an author. But I might be wrong, so this is the kind of first, you know, kickoff to all these books. And a lot of these books cover sort of like parallel times. They're not necessarily sequential, but they were released obviously in the order that they're sitting in right now. So you see there's just the Pursuit of Diana, and then they have a bunch sort of that are stories about what happened in individual cities, you know, when the invasion occurred, the Chicago conversion, the Florida Project, Prisoners in Bonds, the Alien Swordmaster, the Crivet experiment, and the New England Resistance. And then picks up the Death Tide, Texas Run, Path to Conquest, To Conquer the Throne, and then you'll see there's lots of different authors they got to do these, so I'm sure their style is quite a bit different. The Oregon Invasion, Below the Threshold, Symphony of Terror, and then this one, you'll see it looks kind of newer. It's got a newer looking cover. The rest of these are clearly like 80s designs. This one is an interesting one. So this was actually written to pick up, not basically ignores all these other books. And I believe it ignores the Final Battle miniseries, and it's written to just continue at the end of the original miniseries. Just the two-part original TV miniseries. So you kind of have to ignore a bunch of stuff if you want to read this. I can't remember if I read this or not. I'm pretty sure I did, but I wasn't really sure like exactly how it related to everything that had occurred in other series and books at the time. So I might have been a bit confused. So yeah, actually, you know what? This book, I believe, has both the miniseries and the Final Battle series, because it says 10 hour, and that's the only way you'd get 10 hours of content. So basically, at some point, this book, you know, goes into the Final Battle series after beginning with the original miniseries. And what this book by Kenneth Johnson does is it like starts off like in the middle of this, so like the stuff that relates to the Final Battle miniseries is ignored, and just the stuff from the original miniseries is, you know, sort of assumed to have happened for purposes of this. So it's all a bit wacky. And so, Kenneth Johnson, the creator of the V show, had kind of wanted to do, you know, more TV stuff after the end of the TV series. And he had, I think, wanted to do like a sequel of like the original miniseries. Like I think he kind of wanted to do like this sort of content as either a movie or a TV like miniseries or something. But what they ended up doing back, I don't know when, I can't remember when this was. I feel like it was about 2010 or something. What they ended up doing is a reboot. So it's sort of like kind of a redoing of the original miniseries, but with quite a few different like variations. So it was just sort of a remake. And you may have seen that. Oh man, who was in that? Scott, what's his name? From Party of Five was in there. And this one actress who's in Firefly, the Joss Whedon series. She's the one that plays the prostitute in that show, if you're familiar. She has short hair. I think she has short hair in that in Firefly, but she definitely has short hair in this reboot of V. And gosh, I'm sure there were other people in there too in that V reboot. So that lasted 2 seasons and then didn't get picked up. I actually quite enjoyed it. The second season sort of ended on a cliffhanger, as most TV shows do these days. So I was kind of bummed when it wasn't coming back, but what are you gonna do? So that's all that exists for V now. I think Kenneth Johnson is working on a movie as late as like 2018. I think that was going on. Those were pre-production. So I think at some point there might be a movie. And boy, with everything everything that's old is new again. It seems like all of the movies and sort of culture from the 80s and 90s is starting to come back in popularity. So I kind of have to think that there'd be a good chance for a movie like that to do well, and I would certainly love to see it. But we'll see if anybody else remembers this show besides me. All right, well, there you go. There's my collection of V stuff. I wish I had more. At some point, I was looking for like toys, but they didn't really have much. Like all I found was like a toy gun from the show, and that was kind of it. There's not like a lot of like little characters or figures, action figures that I could see that came out of this show. So there's not a whole lot to collect, but I would be certainly open to getting more, and maybe someday I'll get inspired to go and find it. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope everyone's doing well, and we will see you all next time. All right.